It is 12:54 on Sunday, May 9th. I'll be honest, I don't know what to say. I'm tired. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Granted, that was from my own problems. And also this night, because I think it's daylight savings, is I'm not going to get as much sleep as I want either. So I'm actually going to go to bed a little bit earlier. And earlier on the weekend is a little bit ambiguous, but I've just been trying to get ahead. I'm doing an analysis of algorithms project. And usually you're supposed to do that in groups, and I struggle with groups, especially because I don't know anybody in this class, and everybody else seems to know other people. So it feels really awkward in that regard. But it's also, I am only here another week, and the project is due in 2 weeks. So I have to record a video for it, so I don't have, I won't be able to be there for half the time. So I'm just doing it early because I think I'm just going to do it alone and talk with the professor and be like, hey, I want to do this alone because I'm not going to be here. But I'm doing it, and it's fine, but it's a lot of brain thinking. So because I'm so tired right now, the project I'm doing is I'm doing the Tower of Hanoi thingy. It's where you have to move blocks from one end to the other, and you can only put blocks on blocks that are bigger than it. So you'll know it when you look at it probably. And what we have to do is we have to come up with a recursive algorithm. And recursive just means that within a function, it calls that same function. So it essentially becomes like deep layers. It's kind of confusing. There's easier ways to visualize it, because you can visualize a recursive algorithm. It's kind of like a tree in a way, but it's difficult to explain. And so, and it's difficult to do. I have to essentially optimize the algorithm that my professor gave me. And right now I've figured out what I needed to optimize, but now I just have to put it into a recursive algorithm and write the pseudocode for it. And my brain is so tired right now because I have been working for a while. Like, I got in here at 7 o'clock and just started doing work. And yeah, it just took me a while. But I need to stop doing it for today because my brain is just hurting too much. I also was going to try and just brute force my way through applying to internships, but all the internships that I want to apply to is no longer there. And that got me thinking about what I really want to do this summer and this is a very pessimistic if, I don't get into the program that I wanted to get into. And I've talked about how that actually has been a really huge barrier for me to actually start applying for jobs, because I have not been able to motivate myself to apply for something that's during a time which I hope to be previously occupied in. And so I've been thinking about what I want to apply to. And I'm too late to apply to the things that I want to apply to. But it really got me thinking that with this current administration and the communities that I lived in, the communities that I lived in when I was younger and the scenery and the stuff are in trouble. And especially the town that I lived in and live in currently is not the richest nor biggest of towns. So the people there are going to suffer from what the administrative policies are going to be, whatever administrative policies are being put in place. I mean, the topic of discourse in the political spectrum right now is tariffs. And the bottom line is, and both Republicans and Democrats know, that tariffs are going to increase the prices domestically for U.S. goods. And the consumer is going to have to buy more. And when I come from a town that historically has a lot of lower class working forces, the people around me are going to be suffering heavily. Prices for groceries are going up, and I'm in a town that already has been trying to take strides to remedying a lot of problems within low-income households, but now the problems that they were already facing have been accelerated to a degree. And so last summer, I internshiped at a nonprofit in my town that was the sole focus was to receive money and donations or grants from people, the government, corporations, and distribute them to places around me and the communities and the people and other funds that would directly help the communities around me. And maybe I've talked about this, I think when I talked about why I want to make video games, is that I struggle to really show and things that I want to do or to try and make a change. Like, the reason I want to make video games is because I feel like I can tell stories that are stuff that I want to tell and stuff that I want to leave and make an impact. Is that it's kind of the way that some people use activism as a way to show their support or hope to make change. Some people write letters to their congresspeople. My grandfather is a very prominent figure in writing letters to their congressmen and women, which is kind of funny and kind of embarrassing at times. But people have their way of supporting people and showing their support and advocating for change. And I really struggle with the idea of physically being somewhere and doing something that going out of the way. Because I get really nervous about the things that I'm doing, and it's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing things that are going to get me in trouble? Am I going to do things that make me look bad? Is I going to do things that are going to hurt my future prospects? And so, like I talked about in the setting video of the devlogs, that I wanted to make it about some sort of environmental message, because that's how I want to help spread the message through video games. And I like the idea of using the writing and the setting to help show my support and hope to make change that way. Same way that other people use art. It's maybe not as effective, but to me, that's the way that I feel most comfortable and the way that I feel like personally I can be the most impactful. But I also really want to help people more. And so I think I really decided that I want to go back to this job at this nonprofit to work there again, not to be a spokesperson and it's not a nonprofit where it goes out and does things with the community per se. It's essentially a middleman of handling large sums of money donated by various, like a multitude of people. Like when there was Hurricane Katrina a long time ago, it had it opened a fund for hurricane relief and then distributed those funds around communities in need. And that's their job. And it goes hand in hand with a computer science thing. I work a lot with computers, and when I was there last year, I did a lot of data work and trying to understand what could be done better. And I had a limited time last year. And so if this summer, if everything goes wrong, I will be able to be there for longer. And I want to work there and do more things that I think will be able to help the people around me. Because every day I feel a little bit more guilty and more guilty about my privileged position in life, and where I don't have to worry about soaring grocery prices or inflation, or I don't have to worry about keeping the lights on. Like, I'm in a privileged position, and I don't want to say I feel bad about it, but I recognize that me just being me and doing what I want to do is not going to help anybody. So I want to help people, and I said I struggle with finding the right way that makes it the best for me. And I think this is a good way to want to help people around me, but also is an avenue that I can continue my computer science education. And it kind of goes hand in hand. It's the same way with video games, is that I want to make video games because I love video games as just a fun thing to do, but I also feel like I can use it as a way to tell a story to make an impact. So I feel like those two actually go pretty hand in hand in the reasons why I want to do them. And so, as much as I'm annoyed that I can't have the opportunity to be at a video game company and do things there, I feel like it is important to me and to the people around me that I help out again in this nonprofit, to just help people out. And I want to preface everything by saying that still, like, I'd rather be at this program than anything else. No matter what, I want to be at this program, and I want to be in school in the summer. As lame as that sounds, it's the only way that I can be in this program is if I'm in school in the summer and I'm taking classes and I'm furthering my education in an engineering way. And I don't find out for a little bit longer. So I think I'm going to do some stuff tomorrow and probably talk about it with my parents and see what their thoughts are on this. But I think that's like what I should do if I don't get in, because it we talked about is that if I don't get a job this summer, an internship of some meaningful capacity, then employers are going to be like, wow, why'd you do that? That's kind of weird. Like, why are you doing that there? And so it gives me an opportunity to be in a computer science space and still do work and be an intern and learn, but also be in a position where I feel like the things that I do and the things that I enjoy doing and the work that I do is beneficial to not just me and to the other people around me who are inevitably going to be suffering from what is currently going on in the world. And so I guess that's what I want to do if I don't get in. And it's annoying to say that because I would really, really love to be at a video game company somewhere in the world. Like, I'd love to be at CD Projekt Red. Like, the one company that I really wanted to go and see if I could get an internship in was Landfall Games, but they're not doing internships right now, which is annoying. But I wanted to be a part of this space to learn because I'm so impassionate about making video games. But that time has passed. I went too late. I got so much anxiety about wanting to be in this program and feeling that if I started an application, that I admitted defeat, that I essentially told myself that I didn't make it before I actually got a result. So I let that ship sail, unfortunately, but I still think that there's a path that I can do things that I want to do and still feel like I'm working towards something that's good for my future work, but also good for just good in general. Like, even though this work, as I explained, is good in helping people, I would still rather be at a video game company because that way I feel like that's working towards my ambitions, and my ambitions are to create something that would make an impact. So it feels the same to me. But I think it would still be a very good opportunity to be a part of this again, if everything goes wrong. I can't believe I keep saying if everything goes wrong, because like this, if I get this opportunity to work there again, that's a great thing and everything went right. But for me to be available in the summer means that everything went wrong, and all the work that I did in the past 2 years has been for naught, which I don't want to happen. And like, I feel like I hope that whoever's listening can see that I didn't apply to internships, not because I was just so incredibly lazy and didn't want to, but because the only thing I want this summer is to be in this program. And if I'm not in this program, then I'm not in this program. But applying to internships this summer was already like saying that I didn't get in. And it was so hard for me to motivate to do that because all I could think of is that this is the worst case scenario that I'm doing right now. And it's probably what other people want to do. And it just hurt me a little bit. And so I let some ships sail, but I still think that there's other things that I can do that will be good for me.